Hey, what's up,
Here.
guys? Welcome back to
Yo,
another episode of Nerd Escape with Ryan and Declan. I'm your host, Ryan, and this is my co host, Declan,
what's
and
up,
my
guys?
brother.
How's it going? Yeah,
Bunch of different stuff to talk about today. Obviously, we've been covering Alien Earth and Peacemaker every week as they come out. And then there's video games that we're going to talk about. There
and
is
then
a
some
little bit
Marvel
of
stuff.
Yeah, a little bit of updates on the Spider-Man front for Brand New Day, and then
There's
a
a
lot of
pretty,
big stuff to talk about with
yeah.
the Doomsday set.
So we
So
we want to be very clear that like on this podcast, we're not trying to be like pro drama or anything, but the last topic of today's episode will be like drama related, but it is important um to us, the fans, like because it's going to be changing how the movie's going to be.
yeah,
It's going to be changing potentially the future, as we're going to talk about later in this article. What it brings up, how potentially they're going to be handling these Avengers movies. So it has important stuff in it. So it's not like we're just here to talk about drama. It is actually important stuff. So
yeah. For the sake of clarity, Declan and I talked about before we started the podcast today. Um, like, do we even want to cover this? He was like, "Oh, did you hear about this thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, we can like talk about it for a minute, but it just sounds like, actor beef drama on set and whatever." And then we looked into it, and it's like, oh, there's some like big implications about how this is going to change the script of the film and all this stuff. So we were like, okay, we kind of do gotta talk about this because this is something that like is like a big development.
going to affect the product directly.
Yeah,
So
so we're gonna focus less on the drama side and like speculation about the drama and shit, and more focus on like what the implications of changes to the script and stuff like that is gonna be. So that's more what we're gonna be discussing about that topic. If you're into the whole tea bullshit, then you can go and look up these articles and stuff and kind of find more information about, give yourself an informed assumption at who might be beefing or whatever. But I don't really care to bother to figure that out. If it
yeah,
comes out, I'll know it, and I don't really care to like speculate on that. So, anyways, yeah. So we're gonna start off with Alien Earth. Um,
yeah. What'd you think of this week's episode?
it was episode 4 this week, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it was good.
So we're halfway done the show now.
Yeah, I think Declan and I said before we started recording, like this and Peacemaker were kind of both like setup stuff this episode this week. So, both episodes were really good, but there's not like a ton to talk about the episodes. I enjoyed both of them. There's a lot of cool implications in this Alien Earth episode about what this means for the characters. Spoiler warning, we're going to get straight into spoilers. I know I talked about this last week, but once we're a few episodes into a show, like, don't expect me to like not just spoil it. If you've missed out us talking about it until we're at like episode 4, like just expect us to just talk about episode 4. I'm not going to like avoid spoilers for a few minutes. Yeah, I mean, big implications for what is going to happen in the latter half of the show, and also like what the stakes are for some of the characters. The brother that got the lung replacement, he's now basically indebted to this company. There's a scene in this episode where he kind of explains to the hybrids, which are essentially children, that there's these 5 big corporations that kind of just rose up and took over all world governments and stuff like that. And the way he describes it, like that he basically like says that like democracy failed and that like it couldn't solve the problems that big mega conglomerate companies could just solve with money. And I think that's a really interesting thing that I hope gets like elaborated on more in the latter half of the series. But yeah, no, it was a great episode. The setup with the Indian kid being like now having to basically like kidnap somebody and expose them to one of the eggs so that they can make a xenomorph and like have it wreak havoc on the facility. That's kind of crazy. And the cyborg dude like threatening his family and stuff like that was, the stakes are becoming very high for all of these
Right.
characters. And then I really liked the scene. We have never gotten anything like this in an Alien movie before.
I think I know what you're talking about.
With
Because I agree. This
her,
is like the my favorite bit.
with Wendy petting the fucking
Yeah.
xenomorph baby at the
Yeah.
end, like that was fucking whack, dude. Like normally they're just like killing machines, and we've never seen them like
Like sense of
I don't want to say
bondage or
humanized,
humanized. Yeah.
but like made to be like like you think of like a dog different than you think of like a tiger. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
like at the end of the day, tigers do display affection and stuff too. So I guess like a better example would be like a crocodile or something. That it's like you can like condition train a crocodile, but they're not gonna like they don't want to cuddle with you. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want to show affection. Like they don't care that you're petting them. They're just like conditioned to be okay with it, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it was interesting to give it that sort of like the way it moved when she touched it and stuff was like it almost was like just like accepting her affection more so than just not being scared of her or not like seeing her as a threat or a food source. It was odd. So I really am curious what they're gonna do with that. If that's gonna be like a part of the story arc of the show. So we'll have to see on that. But anyways, what were your thoughts on everything?
Yeah. My favorite bit was that bit at the end where she was exactly like petting it. Essentially, it was like it added the show's so much different than the rest of the franchise, and it's really like pushing that boundary, and I really like it. You can tell that they're trying to build this into a universe, and I think it can actually go really well with the way that they're setting everything up, and it doesn't feel like it's out of place. Um, but I thought that was really cool because we kind of get like a sense that maybe there might be like a I don't want to say like what's the did you watch the Godzilla verse movies?
I've seen a few of them. I haven't seen all of them though.
So in one of them, there's like a chick that is like the only one that can like essentially talk to King Kong.
Oh yeah,
Um, yeah, I'm assuming there might be something like that that happens in this, where we have like a character that can like fully like communicate in like a way to them, or like I guess almost what's the word, tame one. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I don't know. I think there's some interesting implications in this episode that we're
yeah,
setting up to a lot of cool stuff.
yeah. It was an odd one, but with a lot of like cool like stuff behind it. It's like there's
Right.
things that this could build towards that are like rather cool implications and stuff. I think what they're doing smart, and it's what DC is kind of doing as well now with their rebooted franchise, where like James Gunn is like, don't worry about the timelines of shit. Like, for instance, like with Marvel, everything is very laid out of like exactly when this all takes place, and like for instance in Thunderbolts, like with the post credit scene, it's like 14 months later, whereas like with James Gunn's vision for DC, Peacemaker season 2 starts up and they're like, yeah, it's just later. Like it doesn't specify like an exact time frame, so it leaves them less
Right.
open to like have continuity errors and like shit like that, because it's like you could just say like, oh, well it seemed like it was this point in time, but maybe it was like a few weeks later, so that this thing that we retcon in later is like not contradictory. So Marvel has kind of dug themselves in a hole in that sense, where they've laid out this exact timeline for everything, and then you have stuff like Ironheart that they finished shooting and I'm assuming editing and producing and everything like years ago, and then released it like 2 years later, and then it's like, well, where that falls on the timeline is like right after like Miss Marvel, which was like projects and
Right.
projects ago in the timeline. So it's like it kind of like messes with stuff, and then it's like it just,
Undervalues things too.
yeah, right. So I think the smarter way to do it is just be like, we have like a loose idea of like when everything takes place, but like don't worry about that too much, just focus on the story, and that's what Alien Earth is doing, because there is some stuff that is like directly contradicting like the original timeline of the franchise. And even like the company like Prodigy being a thing, like they've never been referenced or spoken about up until this point in the franchise. So it's like,
Right.
this is this major like multi-trillion-dollar company, like why have we never heard of them? Well, either the show is going to wrap up in a way where it's like they become obsolete, like either this show is going to end with like the xenomorphs kill everybody like high up in this organization, and then they're like the company just collapses in on itself, and then Wayland Yutani and all these other like the big five or whatever just purchase up everything that they owned, and it's just gone, and that's why we never heard about it. Or they're just going to be like, fuck it, like this is just this new side thing, and it's like, don't worry about the fact that it was not referenced before in the earlier
Right.
material. So I just think like that's the smarter way to go. Like, don't think too hard about it, just make good TV, make good movies, and like people will enjoy it. And it's not asking a lot of the audience to just like not worry about that. You know what I mean? It's like the Marvel route is almost like not trusting your audience to be able to like just enjoy the art, and that they have to be like told everything. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
think DC and this new Alien show are doing the opposite take like really well, where it's like,
Yep. I
don't
agree.
worry about it, just enjoy it. Like if you don't like that this retcon stuff, or that it kind of breaks logic in other areas or whatever, it's like you're allowed to feel that way, whatever. But like we're not, it's not that deep, like just enjoy what we're making, so yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good point on the on this week's episode is like it is a what we've been saying reviewing this week by week is it feels very different, looks different in a sense, and is acted kind of different in a sense, but it is good TV, so enjoy it for good TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, are you good to move on?
Yeah, I don't think I have a ton more to say on this. Next week, I'm sure we'll have like a large
Yes.
discussion to have about this show, because
I'm
I
hoping
would
so.
assume next episode's going to be like very in depth.
Questions answered.
Yeah, like questions answered, and more like bigger setups, and like we'll have like predictions of what's going to happen on the next episode and stuff like that. This week, it's just kind of like all up in the air. So
Agreed. Alright, cool. Moving on, we got Peacemaker season 2 episode
two.
what do we got up to here too? Yeah.
Yeah, really good
Um
episode.
yeah, I thought it was also really good. I think it was so far it's I mean, no, it's crazy to say because it's only episode 2, but it's kept par. It was just as good as episode 1, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so as well. And there was a lot of good like early payoff moments in this episode. Um, like I think a lot of people that watched season one really enjoyed Vigilante as a character and his dynamic with the other characters on the show.
Right.
I think he's obviously like, his character is kind of coded to be like autistic, or maybe like just like a sociopath or whatever, but like he really can't like pick up on cues from other people and stuff, and that sets up like a lot of great comedy. And this episode was hilarious with him, like when he gets to the house and he's like, "You didn't invite me to the orgy?" Like, I,
Yeah.
I don't even care about sex. It's just like a chance for me to bond with my friend. And Peacemaker's like, "What the fuck? Like, what's wrong with you?" And then there's that great montage scene of them like cutting up the body of the alternate universe Peacemaker, and like disposing of it and cleaning up and whatever. And Adrian's just like smiling and laughing the whole time. He's just like, "Oh, this is a bonding experience with my friend." Meanwhile, Peacemaker's having this fucking existential crisis because he just murdered an alternate version of himself. So yeah, no, it was, there's a lot of great payoff, and then at the end of the episode we get the whole crew back together from season one, and they're all drinking and having fun and catching up, and then we get the like we have the dramatic irony of we know what's going on between Harcourt and Chris, but like the Leota's kind of filling in their like the other team member, John Economos, and like letting him know that there's something going on or whatever, and they kind of laugh about it, and yeah, and then also oh,
Your
fuck,
prediction was right.
what's his name? The guy, the black dude who plays the agent. He's a brilliant comedian. He was on SNL for years, and
Oh,
he's been in a lot of really
just pull
great
up the
stuff.
cast here.
Is he not even on that
No,
main
he's
list?
not. I don't think it's not this feller.
No, that's the guy who played
The
the
from
butterfly
Guardians
dude
3.
in episode one or in season one,
And isn't this the guy
and the
that
High
plays the High
Evolutionary. Yeah,
Evolutionary? Yeah.
yeah. James Gunn likes to
Um,
work with people over and over again. It's why there's such good camaraderie on his sets, and everybody works so well together. It's because he tends to like use people for
I'm
multiple
not sure.
projects.
But what were you gonna say about him?
Oh, he's just brilliant, and like he's so funny. He's been in so many funny like comedies, and obviously he was on SNL, and like his like dry delivery of lines that are just outrageous are is like has always been funny. Like there's so many great scenes of him in movies and TV shows, and obviously doing like sketch comedy and stuff where it's like just that dry humor of like delivering something like it's not weird, but it's obviously a strange thing. Like the whole bird blindness thing, like is just so funny. Like he's a brilliant addition to this cast, and I'm very excited to see like what they do with him throughout the course of the season. And like it's so funny that he's just doing all this like super inappropriate shit for somebody that's like a special agent, you know what I mean? Like he calls
Right.
the one girl Agent Titties and like shit. Like that's so funny, dude. Like the whole thing was just so he's awesome. And then also we got an awesome scene of Eagly just fucking everybody up, and then James Gunn even gave him his like slow mo like walk off like after like fucking everybody up. Like I was like, that's so funny to give
Like
the fucking
finisher.
CGI bird the slow mo walk scene, because James Gunn does
Yeah.
that in a lot of his movies. He's done it in all the Guardians movies. He did it in the Suicide Squad. I think he did it in season one of Peacemaker. Like it's just something that he enjoys slotting into stuff that he does, and it was just so funny for him to like give the CGI eagle like that character. Like Eagly is just like a gag character, right? Like it's just funny,
Yeah.
and it's so fucking awesome that he gave him the slow mo walk off after like fucking up a whole team of special agents. And yeah, that was just all really funny. What were you saying was my prediction that I got right though? What were you saying?
Oh well, it's not like confirmed necessarily, but it's like kind of confirmed, like the whole thing with Rick Flag Senior or whatever.
Oh
And it's like he
yeah,
definitely knows. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
yeah, no, and it's interesting how that's gonna play out too.
yeah.
How we're
And
gonna get like a
from what I understand, that is like his entire arc in this show is just to be like on a revenge mission against Peacemaker. And what the implication of this episode was is that when his son died, Rick Flag Jr. died, he like attempted to get the files that were classified, and Amanda Waller blocked him from being able to see what happened to his son. And it seems like beyond like him using the resources of Argus to exact revenge upon Peacemaker, it seems like beyond that he took the job as head of Argus just to get those files. Once
right.
he's at the top, there's nobody that can tell him he can't access that. So yeah, he's clearly on like a revenge arc, and
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, no, this
yeah,
show's been hilarious and really well thought out about transitioning this character, and we're only two episodes in, but really good.
yeah, great fight scenes in this episode and in the first one. Um, just great character development right off the hop. We're jumping in. Season one came out I think 3 years ago, so there has been like quite a bit of time between the two seasons, both in real life as well as within the universe that they've created here. And like they handled the retcons brilliantly, they handled the time jump brilliantly, they handled the catch up with all the characters and what they're going through and what their new motivations are and stuff very well. Like everything has just been so well done, and
Yeah.
I really didn't expect anything less because season one of this show was so good, and the cast is so brilliant, and like everything just kind of fit into place in the first season. And
Yeah, lots of chemistry.
yeah, and I remember watching the finale of season one and being like, that was so good. Like, so brilliantly wrapped up, and like, and yeah, I mean, all the characters' motivations have changed, and there's new relationship dynamics between all of them. Economos is now spying on his friends, and, Harcourt and Peacemaker have this, like, love interest thing that they're not that's like unrequited or whatever. And yeah, like there's just so much new stuff to cover, and they're handling it all so well. And on top of that, being able to slot in new characters like the you gotta find this guy's fucking name. I can't remember his name.
Do you- Can you? I don't even remember what's his
Just
character
click on
name.
the IMDb, like at the yeah, right there. Yeah, and then go to like full cast.
Um.
Yeah, just keep scrolling down.
Oh, okay. Do 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 do.
Lean in. I guess I can just blow it up bigger for everyone to see. Tim Meadows. Jesus, it was like on the tip of my tongue too. Yeah,
Oh
Tim
yeah,
Meadows.
this is the guy from a lot of the Adam Sandler works with him quite a bit too. Yeah, he is
Adam
hilarious all
Sandler
the
works with
time.
him a lot. He's worked with Will Ferrell a bunch of times as well. Like he's been in a lot of really good comedies. He was amazing
Yeah,
on
he is
SNL.
hilarious.
He's fucking awesome. So, but my point is that like being able to handle all of this new stuff to catch everybody up to speed, to catch the audience up to speed of like what's going on with all these characters, and still be able to like slot in new characters like that
Right.
need brand new character development and stuff like that, and they just fit so brilliantly into the show. Like it's really commendable. Like you gotta fucking
It is
give James
impressive.
Gunn his props. Like he is really a good writer, and I just I'm very happy with what they're doing so far. But
Agreed.
what are your predictions of like? I think we kind of have seen from trailers and stuff for the season that Peacemaker is going to now go into this other universe and take over the life of the Peacemaker that had everything that he wanted. But there's a couple things I wanted to ask you about. One, in episode one, when he's talking with his alternate universe father and brother, his brother mentions that Harcourt is now dating a jarhead, she says, which implies he's specifically, I think jarhead is a term to describe the Marines, but I think it's someone I was watching pointed out that in Creature Commandos, the uh, the female Frankenstein, the bride or whatever, she like called Rick Flag Senior a jarhead, and he's like military, not Marines. So I don't like. I think in this universe, it's just like a term for military people. But I was seeing a lot of people were talking about there is a Marine that's a famous character that we do know about that is also active in this universe and going to be introduced on screen soon, and that's Hal Jordan. Or is it John Stewart or Hal Jordan? One of the two of the Green
No, I
Lanterns,
think it's
though, is.
Hal. I think you think it's Hal.
Is it? No, I thought Hal was like a mechanic or some shit. I think John Stewart was the one that was the. Um,
Former United States Air Force pilot
okay,
is Hal Jordan.
look at John Stewart, because I think it's him. I think John Stewart was the one who's a Marine. But that would be interesting to introduce a new um, uh, like character, like a new alternate universe version of this character right before we see him
Oh, yes,
in
you're
his
right. It
own
is John
show.
Stewart.
Okay, it is John Stewart. Okay, so she could be like dating John Stewart, and then that come with like a whole other, um, you know, issue for Peacemaker, because he's been struggling with his identity as like being, um, he saved the world, and he's always wanted to be like a superhero, and like, but he's not taken seriously in that world. And then he goes into this other universe where, uh, on the surface everything's perfect, but then the love of his life is like dating like the real deal superhero now. You know what I mean?
Right.
That would be kind of a cool avenue to go down.
I
But
didn't
I
even think of that. Yeah, that
but
would
I
be
wanted to
sick.
ask you, do you think, because I've seen a lot of people predicting that like this, it looks like everything's all good in this universe, but it's like all surface level, and then if like when he actually spends time there, he's going to figure out like, oh, his father and brother are like villains that are like posing as good guys, or like, like he's going to find out that things are a little bit more nefarious than it seems. Do you think
I
that's going to be
think
the
a
case,
mite's
or
gonna show up.
a what?
A mite, like a bat mite or a
Oh, one of the imps, one of the fifth
Mr.
dimensional
Planet.
imps. Yeah.
Yeah, the fifth dimensional imps. Sorry, not mites. Yeah. I know James Gunn's a big fan of them, and I think we could see one of them pop up. But I think directly affecting him, I think you're right. I think it's going to be a slow burning effect for the rest of the season of him realizing different things aren't actually what they seem to be, and then
Yeah.
he's going to have to like be the hero and fix things. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's right. But I do think we're going to get a cameo of one of the imps.
Dude, Batmite before Batman would be hilarious. And that would be like a very James Gunn thing to do. Because he has like implied that Batman is active in the DCU right now, because there was that scene in Creature Commandos
And Creature
where
Commandos, right?
Dr. Phosphorus was literally like arrested by Batman. Um so I mean, it would be interesting to get like, Batman exists in this universe, and Gotham was referenced in this episode. Um,
Right.
but Gotham's been referenced a few times, and yeah, it would be interesting for. It would be a funny. There's just a lot of humor you could draw from showing off Batmite before you show off Batman. I think would be really funny.
Yeah, I think it just works with this character in this show too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my prediction.
Well, I've also seen people say that maybe the quantum unfolding chamber was like that technology came from the fifth dimensional imps,
Mm.
which that also kind of tracks too. And that's one of those things, they don't really have to explain that, how his dad came across this technology, or if he developed it himself or whatever. Um, because, I mean, you could assume that it's like kind of like a Kang the Conqueror situation, where it's like all the different universe versions of him like figured this thing out, and then they all like have access to this like little pocket of space outside of like normal space or whatever. But then there's that fucking alien dude that shows up every episode now, and from what I've heard, he's gonna show like he's that alien dude with the four eyes that's like burning the little cat thing or whatever every episode. Like he's gonna pop up in every episode apparently. So
Mm.
I think that kind of breaks that, because like unless they're gonna say that's like a version of Augie from a different universe, that he's just like this completely different looking alien creature. Like I guess they could do that, but I think there's going to be something deeper than that. It's going to be like a payoff later in the season, probably in the
Right.
finale. Whoever like will kind of figure out who that character is. But him being there kind of breaks the idea that each of these doors all lead to like a like inside the home of a version of his father, right? So I don't know. I'm curious, like how but they can also just not explain that too. Like they could also just never say like how his dad acquired this technology or if he developed it himself or whatever. They could just not explain that.
Yeah,
So
they don't have to.
I don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah, no, two episodes in, so far so great.
What are your predictions of who that alien dude is? And then in addition to that, what do you think he's doing with these animals that he's burning every day?
Um, you want to know what my hope is? And this is like a random poll that makes no sense.
Lay it
Do
on
you know
me.
the character? Do you know the character, a DC character by the name of Dog Welder?
No.
There's an actual DC character. For everyone at home, I graduated school from welding. This is why this character is kind of cool to me. But there's like a fucked up character that's like possessed by this welding mask, and he's forced to weld dogs together.
What?
Yep. Look at here. I'll show you. Here, I'll pull
That's
this up real
whack,
quick.
dude.
Craziest fucking DC character. Yeah, look at Dog Welder.
That's so whack. What the fuck?
Yeah, so he's like possessed by this mask, and he has to like do fucked up shit.
That's crazy.
Anyways, that's like my meme pick that I was thinking of. Who do I actually think it's gonna be? I don't know. That is a great question.
Less
I
so
couldn't
like who do you
actually.
think it is, and more so like where do you think he slots into the story? Like, do you think he's gonna have any importance, or do you think the payoff is gonna be it's just gonna be comedic?
I think it might be like. I don't know. I think it might be something that's important, but I don't know what it could be.
Yeah, I don't really
That's where my
have
head
any
space
sort
is
of
at.
like predictions on what like we'll have to see if we get a little bit more of him each episode or if it's just going to be like a 2 second cameo every time and then at the end it pays off. Like if there's a week that an episode kind of gives us a little bit more about him, then I can maybe like come up with an idea of what he's supposed to be, but yeah, as of right
Right.
now I don't really have any idea. But my
No, that
second
is
second
interesting.
part of the question though, what do you think he's doing with those like sphinx cat looking things that he's like burning every day?
It could be like I don't even know. It could be like I'm not very familiar with like DC's like witchcraft or like anything characters, but it could be something like that.
It seems too unceremonious for that though, because I that's kind of where my head went as well, where it's like maybe this is like some ritualistic thing, but
Yeah.
he's just like walking out and like dumping it in a fucking like furnace and walking away. Like it doesn't seem like it's like a and it's already dead when he's doing that, so it doesn't seem like it's like a sacrifice thing. Like it seems like okay, I'll tell you my prediction
Yeah, I don't have
or
anything good. Go for it.
my like what I think would be funny is if at the end it shows us like a little like even if it's just a post credit scene because James Gunn has said that his mentality towards the post credit scenes for things is to not have it be some setup or like big reveal and just to keep it like light and like comedic. And the reason why he feels that way is because in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, he did the post-credit scene that set up Adam Warlock, and then he was essentially, like, forced to work that character into the plot of the next film. And he felt like that, like, took away from, like, what he was trying to do with that movie. So his whole thing is, like, that's why if you stayed for the end credit scenes for
He was so good
Superman,
in Guardians 3 though. Don't be rash.
it
So
was good.
funny.
It was good, but he had
So
to like
funny.
write a character
Oh
in
my.
that was like
I
not
know. I know.
intended to be in the script.
The don't be
So
rash shit is just jokes.
he played a perfect himbo. But anyways, yeah. So if you stuck around for the post-credit scenes in Superman, they were very like it was just a joke payoff. There was no like it was just funny. There was no like reason to have like if you left and didn't see them, like you didn't miss anything other than just like a little joke. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
what I think is that we might get like a post credit scene at the end of this season that we have gotten no explanation for who this character is, and then the post credit scene at the end of the season is just going to be like a scene like looking into the like life of this dude for a minute, this alien dude. And what I think the animal thing is that he's got like a pet that like duplicates itself every day, and like the original like dies, so he just has to like get rid of the body of like the duplicate stays alive, and it's just like his pet cat or whatever, and like he has to like dispose of the body of like the thing it like split from every day. Or it's going to be something silly like that, like we'll watch this thing like split into two cats and then the other one just drops dead, and then he just like picks it up and goes, like it'll be like a thing where it's like you're walking your dog and your dog takes a shit and you pull out the bag and you like pick up the shit. You know, it's going to be like for this guy it's going to be like this is just a thing that his pet does every day that he has to like pick up after. You know what I mean? So
that would be
I think
funny.
that would be a really funny like payoff to this setup of this joke. Like it doesn't mean anything. Like he's just some guy, like some alien dude from another universe, and he's just got some weird pet that like dies every day and he has to like fucking get rid of the body. Like I think that would be so
That would be
funny.
funny.
So yeah, that's my prediction on that. But anyways,
That would be jokes.
I don't think there's really anything else to cover from this episode. So
Yeah, we're gonna be cooking in the next couple of weeks, though, for
oh yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Alrighty, moving on. I just wanted to touch on a game that I'm very excited for that comes out in about a month here. The sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Yotei. I will be playing this. If it's chill with you, what I might do is just release a Let's Play on this channel. Um,
100%.
cool. So even if it's possible, what we might do is schedule it so like you can watch and we can talk about it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah. I
mean?
can just be on voice chat and you can just stream it.
Yeah. And then that would be easier for recording too, because you can just record the stream.
Yeah, you got to get Discord Nitro if we're going to do that though, cuz you got to be able to
Yeah.
stream it at like high quality so I can release it in high quality. If I'm recording it like full screen, you know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, I'm gonna be playing this on my PlayStation because it's a PlayStation exclusive for the first bit. So I have to be streaming it
Okay.
on like I'd be streaming it on like
Twitch.
Twitch.
Okay.
So we might make a Twitch channel for this channel of ours, like a Lost and Found Box Twitch channel, and I'll just stream it on that.
Okay.
Or actually, I can stream it through our YouTube channel. Actually, I do have YouTube set up on that, so scratch that. I'll stream it through our YouTube channel, and it'll just be there up as a live stream,
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
like that goes up as a video after. But yeah, so you can watch it live. That'll be something cool. But I'll be doing that. Want to talk about it because the game officially yesterday went gold. Which, if you don't know what that means in gaming terms, means that the game's like officially like complete, meaning they have a played through copy that is the copy they're going to release to the public. So that's always good to hear.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's bittersweet to hear. I was saying to Declan before we started filming the pod when we were going over what we were going to talk about, I was like, isn't it sad that like the industry standard for gaming now is to like release games before they're finished, so you have to like come up with a term to be like, hey, this game is like actually done when we're releasing it, because it's like so outside of the norm to do that.
yeah,
And I was like, it's kind of sad that that's like what it's come to. And I'm old enough, you know, I'm 29. Like, I grew up playing N64 and GameCube and shit, and like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. Like, back when you couldn't update a game remotely over the internet, it was just like you got the disc or the cartridge, and it's like, that's the game. So you better release it finished and like not buggy, because like everybody that like buys it is going to play it as such, and there's no going back and fixing this later. You know what I mean?
right.
So even like DS era and stuff where like, you know, I remember when Gen 4 Pokemon came out, for instance, and they had like the global trade station or whatever, and you could like trade Pokemon over the internet. And I remember being like, oh, that's so fucking cool. But like they couldn't update the game and like patch bugs and shit to the main game. Like that wasn't a thing yet. You know what I mean? It was like there was still like games that had like internet like connectivity and like you could play online and stuff, but like there was no like, oh, we released like a shitty product, let's fix it like post sale. Like there, that just didn't exist. So it's kind of sad that that's like the way the industry has gone now, where it's like everything goes into pre-release or is just released super buggy. Like if you look at like Star Wars Outlaws, like that game was like unplayable for the first few months, and or Cyberpunk is another great example of that. Like the game was just completely broken and fucked, and then it's like years later it's like you return to it and it's like, oh, this game was actually good. It's like they just released it completely not finished. And yeah, it's, I don't know, sad that that's going
Yeah.
on in the industry, but what do you do?
Yeah, I agree, but it's good to support games like this that's at least still try and make a quality product and
Yeah,
don't care about
100%.
deadlines. Like this game, so this is like OG like time difference. The first game came out in 2018.
Is this part of the Ghost of Tsushima games?
Tsushima.
I know, I'm just making a joke. Is this part of that
Uh,
franchise though?
yeah, so that Ghost of Tsushima they're not like this isn't like a sequel, but it's in the same quote unquote like universe. And it's like this is like 100 I think 100 years or 200 years later.
Is the third one going to be like Ghosts of Unagi?
All right. Uh, I'm not
Because I love me some barbecue eel, man. That's my
but
favorite type of sushi, dude.
my my thing was I was trying to say is it's like 7 years from game to game is like yeah, it's a long time, but like that shit's gonna be good.
Yeah,
And
they
like
put the
the
time
first
and
game
effort
was
into
good.
it. Yeah.
Exactly. Like this game looks like it's gonna be fucking peak. Like if I just pop over to images quick here before we move on. Like this is game footage. Like I just this game is like like it's fucking beautiful, bro.
Yeah,
This
that's
shit is
pretty cool.
peak. Like
Wow.
look at this.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
the stylistic
Oh
choices
yeah.
that they made with this series, and I've seen some of the
Oh yeah. The
Ghost of
Tsushima.
Tsushima like gameplay and stuff, and it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. So no, I'm unbelievably hyped for this
What
game.
would a
I
Ghost of
think.
Tsushima look like? Would it be like the ghost of like a fish, but it's just like its head and like all the bones and like all the flesh has been removed from its body?
No, I was thinking like an actual sushi that was sushimi that had like a the powers of Ant-Man.
Well, sushimi is just the fish. Sushi is when you put it in like a roll, or at least
No, but
that's
what's
my
the
understanding of it.
oh, maybe you're right. But oh,
Because
okay.
when you go to
I
like a
thought
high-end sushi
right,
restaurant, you can get like just sushimi, and it's just like the raw fish by
right, but
itself.
it's the raw fish by itself on rice. It isn't rolled.
No, you can get it just like as is, and then you just have your soy sauce and your wasabi and stuff.
Oh, well, usually I have it with like the big chunk of rice underneath it, and it's like laid on top, and then you soak it in the soy sauce.
Yeah, I think
That's what I
that's
was
called a
thinking of.
different thing. I don't
Oh,
remember
that's
what
what I
that's
always thought
called.
I thought that that's what that was called, and I was thinking of that, like being able to like get really big and get really small and just go around like hopping around. I don't know why, but that's what I was
Dude,
thinking of.
silly side note, there's this wonderful sushi
Silly
restaurant in my
side note, I
town.
was just talking about a rice ball that can grow and shrink in size. How much
Yeah,
sillier
but
could we
this is
get?
fully off topic now. There's this wonderful sushi restaurant in my town, and David and I used to go there sometimes. And when I was with my ex girlfriend, like we'd bring our girlfriends, and the four of us would go, and the girls would like eat like a normal human being amount of food. You know what I mean? It was all you can eat for
Right.
context. And David and I would eat so much food that like we got like more than our money's worth for like us and our girlfriends type shit. Like, dude, I would leave this place like looking like I was like ready to give birth, dude. Like that I was like, a week out from like, you know, having a child. Like it was like crazy. Like we would eat so much food, and by the end of like us being there, we'd have to like space out how often we'd go to this place because we like legitimately felt bad because like by the end of them coming to like serve us more and more and more and more food, like by the end you could like visibly see that the waiter was like mad at us. Like this dude's like, damn, we lost money on these guys. Like for real, dude, because it's like a flat rate all you could eat, right? And
Right.
we would
Yeah.
eat like an inhuman amount of sushi, dude. Like and then it would be
That's
so
awesome.
funny. I'd be like so full I feel like I'm gonna throw up, and then it's like, well, we gotta get dessert. And they have these like deep fried like tempura bananas, and they're like
Mm.
so fucking good, and like I have to get them every time I go. So we'd like gorge ourselves, and I'd forget about that, and then at the end it's like, all right, we got to get a couple orders of the tempura bananas, and like, and dude, and we just like, I'd be like eating it, and it'd be like to the point where I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be sick, and it's like you just can't stop. You're like, this is so good, like I have to finish this plate.
That's
Anyways, it's
awesome.
just a funny side tangent there, but shout out that place. I'm not gonna say what place it is because I don't want to like dox myself or whatever, but yeah, shout out that place. It's fucking fire, and we haven't been in a while, so it might be something we go do soon because I miss doing that, dude. Oh
Anyways,
man.
last thing to say, well, before we move on is, yeah, I'll stream this, I guess, hopefully live on our YouTube channel, and then that live stream will just be automatically put as a video after the live stream concludes, so you can go watch it as a video back as well.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of
So yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. We'll do.
I'll be playing through this as like a let's play, which I'm pretty hyped to do because shout out like Jacksepticeye is like one of the first YouTubers I used to watch, like or the Rad Brad who used to just like play let's plays through games, and I think that's like
Oh, dude, I used
always
to
super
watch
hype.
him years ago. That's so funny. I haven't thought
Yeah.
about him in forever.
Dude, yeah, the Rad Brad and Jacksepticeye, those are some goats, original fucking YouTubers right there.
Trying to think
Anyways,
of
yeah,
what
so I'll be
game
doing that.
I discovered the Rad Brad through. I'm trying to think of, it was some like single player game that I was like, I just couldn't spend the money on at the time, and I was like, well, I'll just watch somebody else play it. Or it might have been something that was like exclusive to console or something, and I'm PC, and it was just, I just wanted to watch somebody play through the game. I can't think of what game it was, but yeah, no, he used to be sick, or probably still is. I just don't watch him anymore. I really don't
Yeah,
watch
it's
any
funny because
content like that anymore, but
yeah, but yeah, it's like if you can't afford the game or you want to just check it out or you just want to play the game and check it out and want to like and watch someone else play it and have a good time. I want to be doing that. That's fun. So
yeah.
I'll be doing that. Cool.
Sometimes it's
All
just
right.
cool to get like an informed like opinion before you purchase a game too. Like sometimes I'll check out like extensive gameplay footage of a game before I buy it, even if I'm like pretty sure I want to buy it, because
Right.
I'll just be in that position where I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to like make sure I'm gonna enjoy this game. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. If you're anticipating this game,
Check
watch
it
out
out.
for our channel. We'll have videos up for it. So,
Cool.
and we have to call
Alrighty.
that series the Ghost of Tsushima or Sashimi or however you spell that.
Yeah, but the this game's called The Ghost of Yote. Like it's a different island.
Yeah, but it's
Like
we'll have that as part of the title too.
just put it as Ghost of Tsushima or whatever you want to do, and then just directly in brackets after put
Yeah,
Yote.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That was what I was thinking. Anyways,
Cool.
all right, moving on.
Moving on, one more game topic. For you guys who don't know, we are Invincible fans, of course. Why not? Who isn't? I don't know if you saw, but they wrapped the voice acting for season 4 months ago, and I don't know if you heard about this. They're beginning voice acting on season 5 already. Did you
Makes
know that?
sense to just get ahead of it. They can write
Yeah,
scripts and do the voice acting
way
like
quicker.
way quicker than they can animate it. So it makes sense to
Yeah,
just like bang it all out and then and get it done.
yeah. So they're done season 4 voice acting, and they're doing the animation for it, and they're already beginning voice acting for season 5. Amidst all that hype, which by the way, we will be reviewing and
Oh
doing
yeah, we're big
week to week
fans
for
of
that.
this series,
Yeah.
so
Um, anyways, they amongst that hype, they were like, by the way, we're making a game, and then they finally, I don't know if it was at Gamescom or if it was prior to that that this was announced, but it's essentially like a Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat game that's just invincible characters. So here's like a little look. We got like Mark versus Omni Man in like his Viltrumite suit. Just a little character select screen.
very
Um,
cool.
yeah, it just looks really fun. We got like the Viltrumite chick fighting Bulletproof. This is the chick that has like a blade on her like braid. This is the
Oh
one that
right.
fought Mark in the one planet. Then you have like another image here of team battle of Eve. Anyways, I just wanted to shout this out. I don't know if this is actual. I don't think
We'll
that's actual,
probably
but
play this game on the channel too, because this will be one that we can just
yeah,
play for an hour and just upload a video of. Like there's no story
yeah,
to
I'd
it
be
or
down.
anything. We can just do those kind of sporadically, like I'm doing with the Magic the Gathering episodes. I
Yeah.
just want to, by the way, I just want to say again, like thank you to anybody that's like watching the podcast because they found the channel through the Magic thing. Like we're getting like
Oh yeah, those are like our
consistently the
biggest
most. Yeah,
videos.
they're like our biggest videos. So like anybody that's made it to this point in this episode and you found this through watching me play Magic with my friends on tabletop, like I just want to say thank you. Like I wasn't expecting that to get more views than the podcast, but I guess that kind of makes sense. Until we get like properly established here, it's like a little bit slower to build a fan base for or like a viewership base for like a podcast. But
Then just raw gameplay.
then a
Yeah.
game, yeah, like because somebody just searches a game in YouTube and like our shit comes up, you know. But I'm just incredibly grateful. Like I love playing Magic. I literally just built a new deck yesterday, and it's just something. Actually, for anyone that watched the last episode of the Magic series, I built the like for the most part, it's not exactly the same, but I built the Walls deck that I like just randomly pulled off of Moxfield when I played in the last episode. So yeah, I mean, Magic is something that I really enjoy and I spend a lot of time doing. And let us know, comment on those videos of like what you want us to do, because like we can, because we're able to import like any deck, like I can play with any deck. So let me know if like you want us to do like a specific theme, or like I was thinking about doing like an arch enemy episode where we play like the arch enemy format of Commander and stuff like that. So let me know, man.
Cool.
Yeah, but yeah, thank
Very
you
cool.
again for that. I
Yeah,
really
for real.
appreciate the views and stuff. So
Alrighty. Moving on from that. By the way, it comes out sometime next year.
okay.
Moving on from that, we have news of Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova joining Spider-Man Brand New Days cast.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this cast list is starting to get a little crowded, especially because like there's rumors that there's going to be more villains than have been officially announced that are going to be in it, and then you've got Punisher, Hulk, Spider-Man, and now Yelena Belova. Um,
And
that's
then
a
yeah,
lot.
You have Scorpion, potentially still Mr. Negative. You have fucking who was the other one that was announced?
Potentially Tarantula, potentially Tombstone.
Tombstone and Tarantula, right?
Yeah, so it's like I think they can handle it. Like I think there has been other movies in the Marvel universe that have handled like a large cast like that well. So I'm not worried they're gonna like fuck it up,
Right.
because I'm just like damn, it's crazy that we're getting like, you know, cast scoops about like another person joining the team. That's nuts, especially another like high profile character. Like
Which
they've really
makes me
set up
think
Yelena to be like a big character in this universe, right? So
she's the most screen time post Endgame, I think.
really,
Yeah. Well, sorry, she's the most screen time post Endgame besides like the show characters. I think Loki has more. But like movie characters, she has most screen time post Endgame.
Damn. Would not
Yeah,
have
because
thunk that.
she's like basically all of Black Widow, and then she's in Hawkeye,
She's in
and then
Hawkeye.
she's in Thunderbolts, and
Yeah,
then
I could see it there.
she's in there's one more thing she's in, no? Anyways, she's like the front. I'm agreeing with you. She's basically the front running character right now, but her and Anthony Mackie's Captain America, I'd say.
Well,
Um,
he's definitely gotten more screen time than her because he was in the whole Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, and he was the like focal character of that.
yeah,
And then he got his own movie, which he was again obviously the focal character of that. Um, and then I would say Wanda Maximoff has probably also got a lot of screen time
true.
because she was in a 9 episode series where she was the main character, and then she was also the antagonist in Multiverse of Madness, so she's gotten a ton of screen time too. But I more so mean like her importance in the within the Marvel universe now. Like she's now leading the new Avengers.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, she's like,
So
yeah, I agree. She's like the front runner with Anthony Mackie's Captain America, I'd say, for
yeah.
like our leads of those teams, which we don't even have a Avenger like an actual Avengers team. We just have the new Avengers.
Well, it's implied that they
But
exist in the post-credit scene for
exactly,
Thunderbolts. It's
which
like
is so weird.
they
Just
have
show
enough of
us.
a substantial like presence that they're able to like have grounds to sue over the rights of the name Avengers. So clearly
Which
he
means it's
has
more than
off
a team of
screen put a
one.
whole team together, yeah. Cuz
Yeah, it's
like
not just
we
him.
could assume before that he was going to put Falcon on that team, but we don't really know like that was the obvious pick. I think Ant-Man's also an obvious pick because they have that
Yeah.
like shared history. He was the one that called upon Ant-Man to be part of Civil War. Like he was his in.
Yeah, they have good chemistry and banter,
Um,
and they've known each other for a long time.
yeah, I mean, Anthony Mackie's Falcon at the time was the only outside character that was introduced or shown in
In
Ant-Man,
Ant-Man, yeah.
and then we got that great callback of him being like, um, you know, he's the only contact that Scott has into this world of superheroes, and so he's the one that brings him on board with the Civil War fight and all that stuff. So I think, I mean, Ant Man's an obvious pick too. Let's just quickly, actually, just for fun, like, who do you think is going to be on that team?
Like the
Like the proper
Anthony
Avengers?
Mackie's team.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be him, Falcon, Ant-Man, Thor. Um,
Do you think they
I
are
don't.
going to bring like Thor and Hulk and those characters back for the team, or do you
Well,
think?
Thor for sure. Hulk, I don't know because of what we were predicting is going to happen in Spider-Man.
Right, but that
So
happens after this team has been put together.
right, but that's what
So
I'm
in
saying.
fact, maybe Hulk
If
is
he
on
goes,
this Avengers team, and he's like the liaison to go, go see what's going on in New York with this whole Spider-Man conundrum, and that's also why Yelena shows up because they both send one person from their team to go check in on things, and then that's how Hulk gets wrapped up in the story, and Yelena might just be more of like a cameo character in that, right?
right, but I'm thinking with the Avengers movie being after, if he goes to like as Insanity Hulk, which is what we were thinking is going to happen, like he's going to turn into Savage Hulk. Like I could see that being like a change in his character where they wouldn't have him on the team, or he's on the team, but like we publicly don't say it. I don't know, kind of thing.
Well, which is kind of the position that Sentry's in too, right?
Right.
Like now
Okay,
he's
so
just
then
Bob,
you're right.
right?
Okay.
So it's like
So
but he
I
is
would
on
say
the
Hulk and
team.
Thor still. I
Okay.
would say Hulk and Thor still then. And then
See, I was thinking it was just going to be a brand new team. I think like the smarter way to go would be not to have returning characters.
I don't necessarily disagree. I think you're wrong. I don't think they're not going to bring back Hulk and Thor, to be
Well,
honest.
I think they have to in like Doomsday and Secret Wars, especially because they need like the most powerful characters. But I just think like, you know, put Shang-Chi on that team, right? Like he deserves more
Oh,
screen
yeah,
time
so
and
I guess
stuff.
Shang-Chi and then Captain Marvel would be the other two. And then Wong technically is partly a part of that team.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's interesting. They've left so many things hanging in Marvel right now. It's like we've never got any reconciliation of like when like has Doctor Strange come back from dealing with the incursion in the dark dimension with Clea? Like, like is he just straight up
Yeah,
not
exactly.
available for to be on like a team like that, or cuz his when he was Sorcerer Supreme, it's like they've said before, it's like he has higher duties. Like he's not really ever going to be like an Avenger. Like he'll be like
Right,
there to lend a hand, but he's not going to be like an official team member. And I think
which is
that
why
kind of
like
speaks to the
essentially
same thing for. Sorry.
Wong is like his like the sorry to cut you off, but that's what I was saying. Like for me, like Wong almost seems like an official member at this point because for like a while now he's been the one that shows up on behalf of like Kamartaj.
But I would say that doesn't make him official because he is Sorcerer Supreme now. I'm saying Doctor Strange is actually in a position where he could be an official Avengers member, but Wong isn't because he has other shit that he has to deal with. Doctor Strange doesn't have to do that. He just has to answer the
That's
phone
if
when
we
Wong
yeah, I
calls,
guess
right?
we just have to assume that he's coming back because we don't have
Right, but
that
that's
question
we don't
answered.
know that. That's the other thing
Yeah.
too. And then Thor, he's off like raising a daughter now and like nowhere near Earth. So that's another. Not that he can't come back or whatever, but it's like there's a reason for him not to. And then same with Captain Marvel. Like she's off, being a hero on other planets and shit. So like she would not be like a permanent like team member either. So the only people I can really think of that are like a would
Well,
be
yeah,
like
who's
a
your team?
fixture on the team would be like Shang-Chi, Ant-Man, probably the Wasp too. Like if you've got Ant-Man on the team, you probably have the Wasp on the team too. And then Falcon
That
and
is
Captain
six.
America.
So that is six.
Is it Captain America, Falcon, Ant-Man, the Wasp, and who else did I say? My short-term memory is so bad.
You said
Oh,
Ant-Man, the
Shang-Chi.
Wasp,
That's five.
Shang-Chi, Captain America, Falcon. You said I thought you said one more. Okay, well I think it needs to be like at least a team of six.
Yeah, if we were gonna go with the standard like that they have set from the beginning of the fucking
So who's your
series.
sixth?
Huh, that's a good question. Um, it's got to be somebody. So, Ant Man and the Wasp have the same powers. Falcon and Captain America have the same powers. Shang Chi is like his own thing. Um, you gotta have somebody else that's like Shang Chi and that he's got a very different skill set than everybody else on the team. So kind of like how the joke with the Thunderbolts slash New Avengers is that they all kind of have the same power. Like Ghost is the
Right.
only odd one out. It's like the rest of them are just like proficient in fighting, and then half of them have the super soldier serum. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like three of the members on the team are just super soldiers with like very similar versions of the serum. Um, and then
Is it like
obviously
confirmed, like
Elena.
random side tangent, but is it confirmed that like Bucky's the strongest of the three?
I think the implication is that the Hydra. So the way I understand it is that the Hydra serum was like the most powerful version of it. The the Soviet version that Red Guardian got is kind of like the Timu version,
The
like
Wish.com.
the Wish.com version. Not that he's very strong and whatever. Like, and we've seen
Right.
him do like incredible feats of strength, but I don't think it's as like dialed in as the Hydra one. And then the one that John Walker got is the scientists literally explained in Falcon and the Winter Soldier that he made it so that it's more tailored to be like you're not going to be like this big hulking dude. Like he made it very like streamlined. Like it's all of only about efficiency and not about um like the flashiness of it or what. Like you're not going to be like this big hulking person off of it. Like it's
So he's
and
like pound for pound the strongest.
well, I think he's just probably the most efficient. Like he probably has the best stamina of them, or like whatever. But I think Bucky is just like the most strong of them. Is kind of my understanding of it. Like the
Yeah. Okay.
Soviet version and the streamlined version probably resulted in them being relatively like matched in like strength and stuff like that. But John Walker's probably makes him have better stamina and like all that stuff. And then the Hydra version is probably just like better in most ways, other than maybe he's
Yeah,
not
because it's like you
quite as
see in
good stamina
Thunderbolts, like
wise.
John Walker jumps like an insane height
Yeah,
up that tunnel, and you're like, holy fuck. And then you realize, like, I think it might have been, yeah, it would have been after, like, it would have been later in the movie when Bucky's chasing them and they're like struggling with the car that's shooting at them, and he just pulls up and like shoots it with a fucking grapple and then just flips it with his arm. Like, I know
yeah,
he has the metal arm, but just flips it with one arm by punching the ground.
yeah.
I was like, okay, bro, like he's clearly stronger than the other fucking two.
And also, for what it's worth, we saw the Flag Smashers had the same version of the serum as John Walker, but I don't think any of them were as like strong as he ended up being. But I think that's also because they laid the groundwork for that in that show, where when he's introduced as Captain America and that he's on like Good Morning America or whatever in the one episode, they literally say that like that before all of this, that like what was it, like MIT or whatever did like a study on John Walker's body because he's like the perfect fucking like athlete or whatever, like they implied that he's like has like incredibly good like stamina and like strength like from
Bone
the hop.
density and shit,
Yeah, all
whatever.
that shit, that he's like the perfect soldier, and then he gets the super soldier serum and enhances all that, and now he's just like fucked. Like he can, like that scene that you're talking about in Thunderbolts, he like jumps like a fucking 100 feet in the air up that elevator shaft and whatever.
It
Like
is
that
just
was a,
impressive.
yeah.
It is just impressive though what the Nazis did. That, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying though,
The
dude.
Nazis
Like,
and the Soviets, they've always been the
like it
bad
is.
guys. Somehow they made these amazing soldier
Fucking
serums, super soldier serums.
yeah, bro. Like it is crazy how like fucking. I mean, Steve was even way smaller than Bucky, but Bucky was just like a regular ass dude that just became fucking wham, super
Yeah.
soldier.
Well,
And then
he
Steve,
was also implied to have been like a kind of tough, like rough and tumble kind of guy. Like he was
yeah,
always protecting Steve and stuff like that when they were kids. Like he could obviously hold his own in a fight. He also like got into the military right away, whereas like obviously
when Steve
Steve
didn't.
had like health issues and stuff and couldn't fight. Like Bucky
Wait, so
was
which
like
one
a
did
young
Steve
healthy
get?
guy. Steve got the most refined version of it because it was, if you remember in the first Avenger, Red Skull got the first version of it that Erskine had developed, and then Erskine perfected it with Captain America, with Steve Rogers, and then it was like perfect, and then they lost it, right? Like they couldn't replicate it for
Right. So
years.
that was
So
the
all the
whole
other
thing. Was
versions are
like,
trying to recreate his work, but the most perfect
right,
version
right.
of it was what Captain America got.
Yeah, that makes sense because he went from like 5'6" scrawny nothing to 6'4", 260.
Yeah.
Fucking, and like
Or
it makes
Isaiah
sense because it's
Bradley is
like,
another good example because he
yeah,
was probably also like a big like built dude beforehand, and but the version of the serum that he got was like replicated from blood samples from Captain America, so they had to like reverse engineer it so it wouldn't have been like as dialed in and perfect
or
as the
potent.
version
Yeah,
that Steve got. He also had the most like visible transformation of any of these characters, right? Like he went
yeah,
from scrawny Steve to like absolutely fucking jacked. If you watch that scene back
yeah.
when he
Holy,
like comes out of the thing, it's like so impressive because that's actually him. Like he actually got that built
yeah.
for that. And I don't know if you know this, but when Haley Atwell like reaches out and like touches his chest and then like pulls her hand back, that was not scripted. Like when they like went onto set to do that, like she like legit like couldn't like help herself from like touching him because he's just such like an Adonis. Like that's crazy. Like
Dude,
he
yeah. And
looked so good.
the first 5 years of him being Captain America, like he like in my opinion he slimmed out like kind of noticeably by even Endgame. He was still big, but like, dude, yeah. In the first like Avengers and in the first Captain America and the like Civil War and shit, dude, he's fucking huge, bro. He's
He's
bigger than like
huge.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
He's like massive. Like, yeah, he's wham as shit, bro. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
interesting, right? So that's why in Winter Soldier, the reason that Bucky's even able to like compete with him because of the metal arm and the whole like psycho robot thing. But Steve's like
Yeah.
physically stronger. He's like just like really mentally fucked there because he's like, oh, this is my friend
Well,
that
and
died
again,
100 years ago.
keep in mind that, like I said, Steve had the most drastic transformation of any of them. So he started off being a weak, like, bodied man, and all of the
Right,
rest of them started off being like yoked already. You know what I mean?
right.
So that's probably why it's like more or less balanced out with like the strength level that Steve would have had in comparison to all these other super soldiers is because he had obviously the best version of the serum, but when you start from here and get up to here, like the other guys are starting from here, and their soldier like super soldier serum can only get them to here, but there's still like almost an even match with him. You know what I mean? Like all
True.
their, the Timu one and the fucking Wish.com one, like when you're already starting off as like a fit person, then you're gonna get to almost the same level as Steve, right?
Although I do think, yeah, I do think Steve still has like the best feats in all the movies. He does get
Oh
the most
yeah,
screen time, obviously, but like obviously when he's like pulling down a helicopter and like beats the shit out of like 20 dudes in a fucking
dude,
elevator and
that's
like
that scene has always bothered me, the helicopter thing, because there's the rail that's elevated above the platform that goes around the whole like helipad, and Bucky is taking off in the helicopter, and he grabs the thing, and then he grabs with his other arm the fucking the rail, and is holding it like that. It's always bugged me that it's like, dude, just fucking like loop your feet through the fucking rail and like sit down on the platform and use both hands and like pull it down. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he definitely could
bro,
have
he
put
just
more
he had the
strength into
aura
it
farm.
I know it's like it's just such an
The
aura
aura
farm scene,
farm.
but it's like, dude, he definitely could have stopped that helicopter from taking off.
Did you know he actually did that? Like obviously not actually, but like that was a real like scene that they did.
He really held the helicopter.
Yeah,
That's
he
pretty
tore his
crazy.
bicep doing it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because the pilot pulled away slightly, and obviously he's not actually Captain America, so his bicep got torn.
What? He's
Yeah,
not actually Captain America? How dare
but
you
yeah. Anyways,
disrespect? That's America's ass.
dude,
Anyways, let's go way
that's
back
one of my
to let's go back to Florence Pugh. What do you think her role in this movie is going to be?
Well, I think you nail it on the head because what I was gonna say earlier is I think with this many characters being in this movie, I think we're gonna see like literally like a beginning of this movie, like Spider-Man swinging through the city, and it's um like that one like clip from fucking TASM 2 where it's like, "Good morning, New York, and today we got blah 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 on the weather," and it's like a fucking news thing, and he's just swinging through New York, and he's like has to go. Hears on the radio that Tombstone's fucking up a fucking jewelry store, and he has to go and do that. And Tombstone's entire screen time in that movie is like a 20-second screen time thing where he pulls up and stops him really quick. Like I think we might get some characters that are in here for like a couple minutes, and I think Florence Pugh is one
Yeah.
of them. And I think you nailed it. I think she's going to be at the end of the movie when she realizes that Spider-Man, when pushed, because she might have had tabs on him because we don't know how long he's been doing the solo thing, but we think at least here on this podcast that he's going to get pushed pretty far in this
Mm-hmm.
movie with Hulk and Punisher being in it, that she's going to be realize that like, oh damn, dude, this guy is the second strongest character on our team. If you were to join us, like he dummies all three of us as super soldiers.
Yeah.
He's yeah, like he's
Pound
when
for pound, he
pushed.
is stronger than all of them.
Oh, not even close, bro. It's like yeah. Still one of my favorite scenes in the MCU is when you realize how much of a badass Bucky is, and then in Civil War, he catches his arm and he goes, "Wow," or what does he say? He goes, "Where'd you get this thing?" or some shit. But he like fully catches Bucky's punch and just
Do you have
starts
a
looking at
metal
his arm.
arm? Is that
Yeah, yeah,
titanium? That's so cool,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
I don't know if you've been
yeah,
in a lot of fights before, kid, but there's usually less talking. So
yeah.
fire.
Like so
Like,
fire.
are these wings carbon fiber? That would make sense for the like strength and rigidity. Like he's like, dude, shut the fuck up and just fight. I love that, dude, because that's where
Yeah,
they really nail Spider-Man in the MCU of like him. He's supposed to be just like he never shuts
yeah.
up. He's
Bring back
always
the Civil
being
War
quippy and shit.
version.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Um.
anyways, that's a great representation of just like how strong he is, where he catches his punch and like is pulling it back while making a funny comment, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, Like
Yeah.
Bucky is struggling and like cannot overpower him, and
Bucky's
he's having
face
a laugh.
contort, like you see it come over his
Yeah,
face, like what the fuck? This dude is so
yeah,
strong. Like he caught my punch. Like what the fuck?
yeah,
Yeah,
like straight
like
up.
Captain America and him couldn't do that to each other because they're like
Oh
relatively
yeah.
evenly matched, right? Like to
I mean,
catch
you
someone's
even
punches and hold it there is so much. You have to be so much stronger than them. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like you're exerting so much more force upon them to like catch a punch out of the air and hold it in place and like be like looking at look, oh cool arm, dude. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
sick
Like,
fucking
and
yeah.
he's doing
Or
it
even
so effortlessly. His voice isn't even strained. Like he's just
yeah,
like he's like just chatting with the boys while he's like doing this incredible feat of strength. Yeah.
yeah, or
Quickly
even in
though, Spider-Man could be the
I
sixth
was
member of Sam's team
ah
because they don't.
yeah,
If they have Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain America and Falcon and Shang-Chi, they don't have anybody that
unique in
comes
this
close.
way.
Not only is Spider-Man obviously very unique with his power set, but they also don't have anybody nearly like matched to him in strength. Like they're all just
Because I was
regular
yeah, I was
people
even
in a
gonna
suit,
say even
right? Even
even in
Shang-Chi.
even in Homecoming when he like is holding up that building,
Yeah.
it's like if you really think about it, all that concrete, it's like, dude, none of the super soldiers, including Steve, are able to hold up like a building
Dude, he
collapsed on
holds
top of
he
them.
holds a fucking cruise ship or a ferry ship like the two
Yeah.
halves together. Like he's just holding a ship together. Like that do you know how
Yeah.
much weight that is? Like that's insane, dude. And you can
With
argue like,
cars
"Oh,
in it and stuff.
all the webs and stuff are like taking weight off of that or whatever," but like they start to fail and he's still holding on to it. Like at a certain point at the end of that, he is taking the full weight of the two halves of the ship separating and he's holding that and he's not going to be successful. It is slipping from him or whatever, but that's when Iron Man's drones and shit show up. But yeah, no, it's like he has easily performed the biggest feats of strength in the MCU like by far, you know.
Yeah, he's probably like similar to strength, like and as actual strength to um like he's just below like that Thor and Hulk tier and above that like super soldier tier.
I think put the hammer and the axe down, and I think Spider-Man could probably win hand to hand
I was
against Thor.
I was going to say that, and then I thought of how strong they made him in Infinity War. He legitimately tanked a star while moving a
Yeah,
forge.
but that's
Spider-Man is not
that's
doing
not
that.
physical strength. That's like
It is.
no,
He moved the
that's
gears.
that's resistance. Like he's
Well,
able
no,
to
he moved.
take that damage, which Spider-Man
No,
probably couldn't do.
he
But
moved. He moved the gears to open it, and then took the damage and held the gears open while
well, he
taking the
he
damage.
cracked open the gears of the what do you call that? The Dyson sphere sort of thing that was there, but
Nivetalier.
like he didn't. I don't know. I think that's more of a testament of how durable Thor is rather than how strong he is. Like I think Spider-Man
So
could
you
have
think in
also
hand-to-hand
like
combat,
broke
like
that ice apart and like
like
opened that thing up. I just don't think he
you
would have
think
been able to take
so
the
you think MCU
power of the
Spider-Man
star.
versus Thor without the hammer is subduing him, but obviously can't kill him.
Correct. They're
Okay,
they're
yeah,
like
that's
on an
fair, I
even
guess.
keel, I would say.
Right. So, anyways, back to our point. I think um Yelena's going to be in this movie because she's going to be like, yo, this guy is fucking not only genius level IQ, but like clearly when pushed is like the strongest member of our team because fucking Sentry's low key like on and off.
Yeah, and
And
I've
she's
never
yeah.
seen it, but Spider-Man to me is kind of like One Punch Man. Like I've never watched that show, but I know like kind of the gist of what the character is. Like Spider-Man has to actively like pull his punches, and he has to like he's so strong he has to learn how to not hit someone so hard they start picking out tombstones. You know what I mean? Like he has
Yeah,
to like
I
figure
saw a
out how
funny
to
thing.
not hit someone that hard instead of like most characters have to learn how to hone in their strength. He has to learn how to like hold back his strength because he's so strong.
I saw a funny thing the other day before we move on here to our last topic because we will spend a bit of time on that and it's getting a little late here. Um what's more scary, Batman who starts to smile or Spider-Man who stops talking?
Damn, Spider-Man, dude.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Because it's like
The
Batman
Batman thing
is
would
that
be, rightfully unnerving as well. But I think,
he is just a dude at the end of the day.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas, yeah, if Spider-Man stops talking, I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago when we were talking about like Brand New Day and whatever, or maybe I don't, maybe it was the games or something. But I saw like a comic panel of like he's like rushing to go save MJ, and like the Avengers have like a warrant to go like arrest him essentially, and like Captain America shows up to him and fucking Peter just one shots him. Like just pulls his shield from him with his web and then one shots him in the face with it. Just smashes it in his face. Like
yeah.
yeah, like fully just walks away. It
We
was
kind of
so
got a
sick.
version of that in X-Men '97 when Captain America shows up to stop Rogue, and she just pulls his shield away from him and fucking hucks it like 1,000 yards away.
Oh yeah.
Like that shit was so badass, dude. She's just like, what are you gonna do now, bitch? I took your toy, like,
Yeah, like you are actually an ant to me, Loki.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Captain
Um
America's never been like the most powerful. Like, what makes him a brilliant character is that the power of his will
his
and
prep talk.
his speech abilities,
Yeah.
and but the power of his will and the goodness of his heart, like the unwavering goodness
Yeah.
that he has, is what makes him a cool character. But there's tons of characters that can just
Well, and
fucking one
also to
shot
be
him.
fair, he's been around like 100 plus years. Like he is pretty wise in like the form of battle.
Right.
Like he's always tactical, so it's like yeah, that's also a thing that he's benefit. But yeah, when it comes down to like no prep time, like hand to hand combat out of like surprise, like yeah, he loses to most people in Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
Um,
tons of people that can fuck him up. But anyways,
but yeah,
yeah. I think.
to wrap this up, I think she will just be a cameo at the end where she is like approaches him. And one thing I want to say on that quickly is I really hope if they're gonna do Spider-Man tagging back into a team so soon again, which I'm not too big of a fan of. I'm not against it. Obviously, it's gonna have to happen with the Avengers movies coming. If they're gonna do that, I really hope he just keeps the mask on, and that doesn't come off. Like I really hope the scenes where we see him maskless is him just as Peter, and he doesn't take
Yeah.
that off in front of other heroes. Like I want him to just keep it on and be that quippy, funny guy with the mask on. That's a
Well, he
random
needs some
gripe of mine,
time
but
to be the version of the character where, like, they can't just undo what they did in the last Spider-Man movie and him reintroduce himself as Peter Parker to everybody and be like, this is who I am. I know you don't remember me, but like you actually used to know who I was. Like, they can't just like undo that. I think that would be kind of lame. Like, they need to at least give him one full movie of
agreed.
like just
But I
being
think
this
even more than
undisclosed
that, just
character.
leave it at that. Leave him as the masked man. Leave him
Well,
as that. It makes him
eventually
more funny.
storyline, like, there's tons of storylines in the comics where it is important that people know who he is in real life.
It depends how
Like
much
once he
how
gets
major they
involved
make him
with
as a
like the Future
character. That's
Foundation
fair.
and all that stuff, like,
Fair. Yeah, it depends how
the
big they
reason
make
why
him.
we get the bombastic Bagman suit for Spider-Man is because he's like at the Baxter building and doesn't have his suit and he has to get home, which like implies that they all see his face and like they know who he is, and then it's like they give him a brown paper bag to put on his head and a Fantastic Four costume and he thwips home in that. You know what I mean? So there's storylines and stuff that it does like matter that people know who he, like, what his real identity is, and know him as a person and not just as a hero. So I think
That's
eventually
like
they have to go
post
back
Secret
on
Wars,
that, but
hopefully.
yeah, I would like it to just be Spider-Man right up until the soft reboot, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want with him, right?
Cool. I agree.
But yeah, I think so. I think we had talked about this off camera, but I think it just makes sense for when I saw Florence Pugh was attached to this, and I'm like, oh, Yelena is going to show up. Immediately, I was just like, okay, well, this is obviously going to take place in New York, and they're based out of New York now. Like, they're literally in the old Avengers Tower now, the Watchtower, and like, it would just make sense that if there's some big shit going down, like the Hulk just wrecked a whole borough, and a bunch of shit has gone down with Spider-Man, like it would make sense that at least one of the Thunderbolts would show up. Like that's literally where they're based out of, and they're a team of heroes right there. Like it would make sense if, and Yelena is kind of implied to be the leader of the team. So, yeah, it would just make sense. It would be cool too to get like a cameo of at the end, like the post-credit scene be Sam's team of like him and four other characters show up and recruit Spider-Man to be their
And there'd be
sixth
like,
member.
or if there'd be like a little back and forth between Sam and Yelena
Yeah.
over him, like they're drafting like a new first overall pick, and they're like, "No, we
Yeah.
want him," and they're like, "No,
Yeah.
we want him," and he's like sat there like, "Hey guys, I'm just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man."
Yeah, that would be really cool. I like that even more actually. If it just Sam and just Yelena show up at the end, and they're like fighting over who gets to recruit him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Cool.
All right.
Alrighty, moving on to our last topic. We were here to talk about the rumors over like the whole two people were fighting on set and whatever. So we have an article here, um, and it actually goes through some pretty interesting stuff regarding the actual movie itself. As we were saying at the beginning of the episode, we don't really care too much on the drama. If you care, you can go find that shit on your own. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I
We're
don't
here
care to
talk about.
speculate who it is that was fighting. The scoop is that it was two characters from the
Yeah, and we'll go
Thunderbolts
through it
cast. I don't
because
really care who it was. It's just I care about now all the implications about it. So,
right. So it's you'll see here as we talk about it. It's very much a domino effect.
yeah.
So to give everyone an overview, as I just go down to the points here.
Well, I can just
Um,
kind of briefly sum it up so we can do it a little quicker cuz rather than
well, I don't
reading
mind
off
doing it.
somebody else's article, but basically what happened was two of the
Okay, yeah.
characters from Thunderbolts were at each other's throats on set. Whoever that is, I don't really give a shit. Doesn't really matter. But two characters were not getting along.
Correct.
And then because those two characters are going to be attached to the same like team, like what we're assuming this movie is going to be is that there's going to be a bunch of different teams split up to go handle different shit, right? And these two characters
Very Infinity
obviously
War-esque.
were right, and these two characters that are fighting on set are obviously very intertwined with each other in the script of the film. Like they're gonna spend a lot of time on screen together. So they started doing rewrites and apparently scrapped the script and like started rewriting the whole movie the way they had it, but trying to change it so that these two characters didn't have to share the screen often. And then Robert Downey Jr. was like, "Yo, this new script is dog shit. I'm gonna walk from this movie if you don't rewrite it." And then supposedly, the team that wrote Deadpool and Wolverine, which I think is Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy, and I think one other person was like heavily involved with it. It was like a main writer, but the guys that did that are supposedly who was like given the task of rewriting this movie. And
Yeah, and now we're kind of into the bullet points here.
yeah,
So the rough bullet points was we kind of covered this. You just kind of said this, but it got scrapped because of so basically they kind of started beginning shooting. The argument between the two actors happened. They had to change how they were shooting the movie, and then they came to a conclusion of their script. They brought the script to the meeting. RDJ was like, "This is poo poo. Give me a better script or I walk." And now he was taking control after they were like, "Oh, okay." And then it seems like they decided to grab these gentlemen here. Levy and Ryan Reynolds are going to be now writing the movie, as obviously Ryan's something Ryan was saying, not Reynolds' brother here.
yeah, me
Obviously,
Ryan.
obviously Deadpool will probably have a bigger role in this, which I don't mind at all.
Well, so
But he's not.
quickly, it's funny because we were seeing rumors that Deadpool is now going to be a like an important character. Like he got attached to this movie like late, and I think that's actually when all this stuff started happening because he might have had like a cameo role or whatever in the original script, but when there was no reason to like it wasn't a big scoop that like, oh, Ryan Reynolds is going to be in this movie. Like a lot of actors are going to have like a brief cameo role in this movie, I can only assume. So I think
Right.
when we got that information that Deadpool is going to be a more prominent character, and like it was like a big scoop to like be like, oh, Ryan Reynolds is going to be in this film. I think that only became relevant once he was inserted into a larger role into the movie, which would have only happened when him and Sean Levy took over the writing. So it's interesting because we already knew that that was a thing, and it's like, oh, that's weird that we are just now coming to this information that Deadpool is going to be an important character in this, and then now it all makes sense. It's like, oh, okay, well, him and Sean Levy are actually writing the script now. So,
Right. So, yeah, there's just a quote here saying, no, the script is not ready, or there is no script yet. It's been scrapped. The new one is not ready, but it is to be written by the writers of Deadpool.
this is
And
all
then moving.
like mostly unconfirmed, by the way. I will
Oh, yeah, but
like
this
we
is all
gotta
like
preface by
alleged.
saying this is all like not like
Alleged.
yeah, this is all like scoops and like whatever. Like we I don't think much of this is like verified sources and shit like that. So this is just kind of speculation at this point.
Although this something that is probably the biggest talking point of why we wanted to bring this up is I do think there is some truth in this next statement. So Avengers trilogy talk. So the Doomcock is the guy that was reporting this. This is his
Great
quote
name,
here.
by the way.
It is. Um, I'm hearing RDJ has stepped up and is assuming a leadership role on this set, and the Russo brothers are kind of giving him a lot of latitude. While the script is being revised and possibly in an act of optimism, I am told that that Marvel is allegedly considering expanding this into a trilogy because of there's so much material to cover. And I think that there's like some truth to this. I think that this very much could happen. I think we could hear in the next because this Doomsday doesn't release till December next year, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if within a year out, so in the next 3 months, 4 months, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear something that it's like there's going to be another movie after Doomsday before Secret Wars. Because I think Secret Wars will be the final if they end up doing the trilogy.
Now,
They'll keep
here's
that at the
another
end, I think.
question. They pushed back the release date of this movie. Do you think that was because they needed to give themselves more time already, like from the beginning? Or do you think we're just like I was saying with the whole Deadpool being a prominent character thing, do you think this is just, oh, it all makes sense now? They pushed that back. Like this has been going on for a while, and they pushed the release date back because they had to go back to the drawing board with the script. Or do you think they're now going to push the movie again?
Mm, no, I think it's the latter. I think that they honestly didn't have a great idea of what to do with this movie from the get-go. They kind of just had the Russo brothers confirmed along with RDJ, and they like all showed up and were like, let's make a movie, and then they went at it, and it's fucking sucked ass, and then they went back to the drawing board, and this issue happened on top of it, and they were like, okay, let's go get the writers of the Deadpool series because that shit did really well. It was their last movie to make $1 billion.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
I've seen people, you know, pick apart that script, and there's kind of prominent people in this sphere that kind of had negative things to say about the way that movie was written and stuff. I thought it was brilliant. Like I had no issues with that movie. I thought
well,
the
regardless if you have issues with even the second or third movie, Deadpool 1 is like undeniably a top 5 comic book movie of all time,
yeah,
in my opinion.
and it's like one of the
Like,
lowest budget ones too. Like I think they made
yeah.
that movie for like 50 million, which is like
Dude, do you
any
know
of the
that
like MCU movies, like even Iron Man, the first one had a significantly bigger budget than that.
this is a little side topic that I think you'll find cool if you don't know this, but I'm assuming you might already know this being a super nerd. Did you know that that opening scene to Deadpool with the whole singing on the highway and he's like, "Oh, hey," and he looks at the camera and then he's like, "Oh, bad guys," and drops down and whatever?
Yeah.
Did you know that was filmed the same year Green Lantern came out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, how crazy is that, bro?
Yeah, and then that it just got left in a drawer. Like
Yeah.
that script was finished for like a couple years, And then they had done all the test footage and stuff, and that's what that scene was. And that scene was shot, and the whole script was done. The whole cast was like set in stone and everything. And then they just left it in development hell. And then that's when, I mean, allegedly it was Ryan Reynolds, but somebody leaked the script, and then fans like clamored to be like, yo, like put this fucking movie out. And then the studio was teetering on the edge of like, should we greenlight this movie? And then they released that scene and the test footage and shit. Again, allegedly it was Ryan Reynolds that leaked it, but he's never like openly admitted that. But yeah, it was like like that was what pushed it over the edge. Was like, not only did the fans have access to the script, but they also saw like what the movie could look like, and then they were just like, please God, make this movie. And there was such an outpour of support for the film that they ended up greenlighting it. But yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, my point is like they make like Sean Levy understands how to make a good comic book movie, and
Yeah.
that same goes with Ryan Reynolds. So I'm
Yeah.
not mad about them being chosen at all. I think that's actually a great choice. My last question before I ask you one other thing before we wrap here is, how likely do you think this trilogy is of happening?
I
Because I
think
would say this is the biggest news tidbit on this bit. Like
yeah, of
obviously we
all
have
of
the
it,
whole
yeah.
like obviously them becoming the writers is the next biggest part, and then everything else is kind of more of the drama side of things. But yeah, what do
I
you think
think
of
it's the
this
smart
potential
play.
trilogy?
I think this is such a big story
I
that
agree.
involves so many characters. Like, if you want to do this right, you really have to, like, every character you've ever introduced has to be in this in like Doomsday and Secret Wars. I think it just makes sense to like split it into three movies, because like if you want to give
Do you
everybody their screen time and like really like get, you know, I think the biggest shame is that like James Gunn isn't around anymore for Marvel, because if anybody could handle like a huge ensemble script and like direction like that, it would be him. Because he's so good at like introducing so many brand new characters at once and like fleshing them all out. We've seen him do that with Guardians. We've seen him do it with Suicide Squad. We've seen him do it with Peacemaker. Like, he's really good at that. You know, even earlier in the episode, we were even praising like how he's added more characters to season 2 of Peacemaker, and it's still like everybody's getting their screen time and getting their character development.
right?
So it's a shame he's not around, because he really would have been the perfect person to at least direct, if not write and direct this. But yeah, I think it's just the smarter play to break it up into three films. And we've talked about this
You know what I
before, but
think
you're
they'll
gonna get
do though?
asses in seats for Avengers movies regardless. Like, they're not gonna lose out on money by doing a third film instead of two. I think in fact they might even make more money. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know what I think they'll do is they'll do a third movie, and instead of doing it one a year, they'll do an 8 month gap.
that would be the smart play, especially because if they've got everybody on set and shit, they can just film like congruently,
Right.
right?
So it'll be Doomsday, and then said new Avengers movie 8 months later, and then 8 months later, after said new Avengers movie, it'll be Secret Wars.
Yeah.
I think that'll be the smart move rather than doing 12 months between them, doing a trilogy like that. Just because I think the reset is kind of needed to come at a time where we're like, if you keep pushing this back or do a year gap between these movies, like we don't have much before them
Yeah.
coming out. We like movie wise, so it's like I think you do want to like not. I don't want them to speed up the reset, but I think breaking into three movies so that it's going to be better and be played out better is a good idea. And then I think that can also lead them into just getting it wrapped up in the same amount of time and telling a better story where they can go into the reset.
Well, they've said, you know, Kevin Feige has spoken about the fact that they're dialing back the amount of content that they're doing, so they're only going to do like two films and two shows per year and whatever. But the problem that arises if you can't knock out this story in two films is that you've now got another year of, well, what movie do you make? You have to do like a Black Widow movie where you just go way back in time,
Right.
right? So
So do the 8 month thing and keep it in the same.
Yeah, so I think they have to try and pump it out as fast as possible if they're going to split it into three. And then if they're going to release shows and movies in the time period between the second and third one, that does fuck up their whole thing of what they were trying to do. You're going to like straight up have to do like flashback films and stuff, or like write like an entire side story within Battle World or whatever, which also could work. It's just it changes the whole implication of what they're trying to do. So I don't know. Also, I just want to say too, I would be, I'm a huge Deadpool fan. I would love to see him get a lot of screen time in these movies and maybe even be like a pivotal character where it's like he's the one telling us the story. Like it would be cool if he's like breaking the fourth wall and like telling us the story. And you could speed through exposition that way too because he can just straight up tell you shit instead of like having to show it on screen, right? Or have shit be like, oh, this is what happened off screen and it's just awkward exposition. Like you could just have Deadpool handle that every time and just tell the audience like this is the exposition that happened off screen, right? So but what I wanted to say is regardless of how they use Deadpool or how often they use him, the only sad thing is that they're going to have to tone him down. What I think would be really
Right.
funny is if he swears and shit just as often, but when he swears, there's a censor, and the other characters acknowledge that he like, how are you doing that? Like I got you to watch Scott Pilgrim versus the World with me,
Yeah.
right? And they do that bit in Scott Pilgrim where Audrey Plaza's character, I can't fucking think of her character's name now, but anyways, when he's at the coffee shop looking for his sister and she's like fuck Pilgrim or whatever instead of Scott Pilgrim, but it's like censoring over her like swear words each time, and then he's like, how are you doing that? And she's like, never mind how I'm fucking doing that. And it's like there's like the censor sound every time. It'd be really really funny if they recreated that bit in these movies where it's like Deadpool doesn't have to stop being Deadpool in any way. It just we're gonna censor him, and then the other characters are gonna acknowledge like, how are you doing that? How are you like censoring yourself? You know what I mean? That would be really funny.
Yeah.
And then
And you could do it
he
like
can be like, guys, this is a kids movie. Like this whole family has to be able to buy tickets to this, and they're like, what are you talking about, fucking lunatic? Like that would be really funny.
yeah. But yeah, no, I think the trilogy is actually a very high potential and happening, so I wouldn't be surprised if we hear that as an announcement coming out.
Yeah,
Um, I wouldn't be surprised if they just do Doomsday Part 1 and Part 2. And don't even name it like a separate thing. They might, but I think they might just do Doomsday
I
Part
think
1
they
and
can
Part 2.
come up with uh, like a third name. Like they could even just do Doomsday Battle World and Secret Wars or whatever, right? Like there's some name that they can come up with if they don't want to do it like part one and part
Oh, I
two.
think of what they should do. I cooked. Just do Avengers Doomsday, Avenger War Between Worlds, and then do Avengers Secret Wars.
Yeah, something like that. But because originally Infinity War and Endgame was going to be Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, and then
Right.
they when they were writing the script for Endgame, there's that line where Doctor Strange says we're in the Endgame now, or it might be Tony. I forget who says it, but somebody says we're in the Endgame now.
That's actually said in Infinity War.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, and that's where they got the idea. Yeah, because that's when Doctor Strange gives up the stone to
The
Thanos.
stone, and he's
Yeah,
like, "Why did you do that?" And he's like, "We're
we're
in
in
the
the
end game."
Endgame now. Yeah, and that's where they got the idea to make the second movie called Endgame and not Infinity War Part 2. So it'll just be something like that. Like they'll just naturally like find something in the script to
Yeah,
name
but
the
I do
middle
think it is a
movie.
really good idea.
Yeah, I do too. I think it does change the implications for how they handle their other like side content for that interim period before the soft reboot, but I think they can figure that out. And I
And
think
I think
they
it's worth because I think what I'm hoping Doomsday is if they do a trilogy is basically just a Doom origin, which is like what I want for a whole movie. Because
right,
then leading into the other two movies, he's more of a villain that we're attached to.
right.
So that's why I'm hoping for the trilogy. But
Yeah, and I think also like I think they've come to realize that they have to do this soft reboot, or it's just not gonna, like, they're losing ticket sales on a lot of their movies. You know, we've talked about this in the past. Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four were both so good. I thought Thunderbolts was the better of the two films, but they're both such good
I
movies.
agree, but yeah.
And like, I went to the premiere of Thunderbolts and there was nobody there. You know, like a premiere night of a movie, which I can normally, like, you know, what I do is I usually buy a bunch of tickets and then my friends all reimburse me so we can all sit together. You've been to one of those with me now. But that's kind of what I just do. For Thunderbolts, I knew that there was not going to be a lot of my friends that aren't like Marvel fans that would really know what was going on, because this is a lot of characters that have kind of been introduced in other shit and are like relatively unknown characters. So I just went with David, like just the two of us went. So I only bought the two tickets for that one instead of like buying a bunch of seats. And it was just so funny. It was like I got perfect, like perfect row back, like center of the row tickets for us to go see that. And I remember thinking like, damn, that's crazy, like that I was able to get such good tickets. And then we show up and there's like 6 to 8 other people there. Like there's 10 tops people in that
Yeah.
theater. And I was like, damn, that's fucking nuts, dude. Like that, this is a Marvel movie. Like that doesn't happen, you know? So I think they're coming to realize like whatever plans they have for like lesser important movies than the Avengers movies, and because Spider-Man's not going to really be affected because it comes out before any of this. But if
Yeah.
this throws a wrench in their plans for what they were gonna do, they could just bite the bullet and just not do it, or just not worry about how well it's gonna sell. You know, just do some more low budget shit. You know, and just
Yeah, I wouldn't
get
even
something
mind because
else
then
out.
just do the reset and then yeah.
Yeah, because then they're back to square one and they can sell tickets to shit again. You know, like people are gonna be hyped to see a new X-Men movie. That's a household name, you know, brand. They can make any X-Men movie and people are going to show up to that. They can do an Xavier Academy TV show and people are going to watch that on Disney Plus. Like they're going to get their streams and their ticket sales, but they have to do the soft reset to start getting back into form. So I think if this is going to fuck up how they're going to do, you know, they don't want to make the same mistake that they made with the Black Widow movie, which I think got a little overhated, but it definitely isn't like one of the top films in Marvel. But it was really poorly received because of the jumping back in time thing.
Yeah.
And so I think they'd be in a position where they'd be essentially forced to do that or tell a side story within the new world that they've created, being Battle World. I think they could just bite the bullet and just not make anything
Do
else.
that and
But
pour that into the new movie.
yeah, and then like you said, it's just like film it all congruently, try and get the VFX and shit done as soon as possible, and then just put them out like as quickly after each other as possible, and get the three movies out, and then just be ready to soft reboot, right? So
Yeah, what they could even do to fit it into the same calendar year or 12-month period, I guess, not calendar year, but 12-month cycle is like they could do Doomsday and then 4 months later do whatever this new one is, and then 8 months later do Secret Wars.
yeah,
But yeah, I think they need to do something like that and then just pour all their budget from the shows they were going to do into this new movie and just fucking bun the shows. Don't worry about them. Do this
yeah,
properly and then go into the reset.
yeah, and you can
Um,
always return to shit like all the, you know,
yeah,
they're doing
you
Daredevil
can do
Born
them in the
Again, like
reset.
yeah, you can just like start a brand new story with Daredevil Born Again, like with all the same characters, like in the new version of the universe. Like they don't have to fully scrap shit, they just have to bench it, you know. And I think they were already
Yeah.
prepared to do that with certain things, like Blade, for instance. Like we've kind of gotten whispers in the wind that that movie is not like just stuck in development hell. They have like a different plan for it. My assumption for that would be the different plan for it is wait until the soft reboot and then introduce him as a character in this new universe where you have no bounds with what you can do with him. So I think they've already prepared themselves to make that choice with other shit that they were trying to do, that they're like, this just makes more sense to wait until the reboot
Yeah.
So I think they just have to bite that bullet and be like, let's just focus all of our attention on these Avengers movies, get them out, and then we can just do whatever we want from that point. There's no restrictions or anything like that on any of these characters now because we can just start them all over fresh, right?
Right.
So yeah, we can
Yeah, no, I
recast who we
agree.
want to recast. We can keep whoever we want to keep. We can, we can pick up stories from where they left off for some characters. We can completely rewrite the character's history and start anew
And it
with
makes
other
sense.
characters, and it'll all just make sense. So
Yeah. There you go. That's our take on this alleged news revolving around these Avengers movies. The last thing I wanted to say was I want to do like a question of the day on episodes.
okay,
That's a new thing I want to do. So that at the end of the episode, we'll do a question, we'll answer it and to give our opinion, and then people can put their opinions in the comments on their on our question of the day. So I saw a really good question. Would you take, so this is like a, you know what red pill, blue pill is, or like would you
yeah, yeah,
rather
yeah.
kind of things? Okay, would you rather
I
take
I
all of,
watched The Matrix as a kid when it was not that old.
would you rather take all of um, the Russo brothers comic book movies and Nolan comic book movies? So that's blue pill, and then red pill is James Gunn and Sam Raimi.
Which do I choose?
Yeah.
That's tough.
So blue pill is Christopher Nolan and Russo brothers. Red pill is James Gunn and Sam Raimi. For me, this is a clear pick, but I'm curious. For me, it's blue pill. Pretty clearly.
Yeah, see, for me, I grew up with the Spider-Man movies. I saw those
Exactly. And
movies
you
in theaters,
love Guardians.
and I love James Gunn, dude. Because if we're talking
Wait,
James Gunn superhero movies, that also crosses into DC. That's like Superman now. That's Suicide Squad. That's all of that shit. So
yeah, you don't get everything that's coming out, like that hasn't
just
come
what's
out, but
been
you get every.
released.
Yeah,
Okay.
but dude, you're giving up the Dark Knight trilogy. You're giving up Infinity War and Endgame. You're giving up,
That's such a tough choice for me, dude, because of the
right,
nostalgia factor of the Raimi trilogy.
right. This is why I wanted to ask
Um,
this question. So I'll try to
and
think
then
of
how
bangers
much I
like this
enjoy
every week.
James Gunn, but and then like I like Infinity War and Endgame, but really the standout for the Russo brothers is Winter Soldier,
Right.
and then the Christopher Nolan trilogy of Batman is just so perfect. I know people dog on the Dark Knight Rises, but even that's like such a fucking brilliant movie. It just doesn't stand up to the other two, but like it's still better than like
Yeah, I
ninety
rewatched that
percent
movie
of.
recently, and that ending gets overhated. I liked the Robin reveal.
I liked I didn't mind the Robin reveal. I just thought it was a little like poorly handled. Like they could have done that a little bit better. I didn't mind that though, and like the end where the setup of like um Alfred telling him that he goes to this cafe in France or whatever, and he like his dream is that he'll look up and see you, and like you're just you've like given this up, and you're like a regular guy, and maybe you have a like a girl with you or whatever, and then that's what happens, and it's like so clearly like this was calculated by Bruce Wayne. Like he remembered that conversation, and he knows what cafe that is, and he makes sure he's there to like
Right.
make recreate his dream, and he's there with um Catwoman. Like that's just so perfect. Like that ending is so good. And then
So
also
are
for
you
the
giving that up?
average, oh, dude, this is so hard. This is
This
actually
is so
so
hard,
hard.
right?
Um,
I knew this was a banger question. What you could do is break it down numbers wise. You get more movies going red pill, but I think you get better movies going blue pill, in my opinion.
well,
So
in Infinity War and Endgame, I think are the bottom of the Infinity War, Endgame, and um, Spider-Man 3 are like the least important movies in this. for me.
Guardians 2. No, Guardians 2 is also down there.
I disagree. Like I think Guardians 2 is really good, and it did like a lot of like important character development and setup for what was to come with those characters and stuff. Like I disagree personally, but
So you think Guardians 2 is better than Civil or Infinity War?
I don't think it's better. I just think it's like I think it's on par.
I can give you Endgame. I can give you Endgame potentially. I don't think so. And I can give you Civil War. Um, but nah. Infinity War is clear as
I
bro. I'm
forgot they
sorry.
did Civil War too.
So they have with Blue Pill you get the Dark Knight trilogy, and then you get
Winter
Civil
Soldier,
War,
Civil
Winter
War.
Soldier, and then Infinity War and Endgame. And then with Red Pill you get the Suicide Squad, Superman, Guardians trilogy, Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, and then technically you get Multiverse of Madness, right? That was with him or no?
No, that's oh yeah, that's Sam Raimi. Yeah,
So then technically you
yeah,
get
that's
Multiverse of
true.
Madness.
That's true. I forgot that movie would even fit into this. Fuck. That's such a tough question, dude. I don't even know how to answer that. Cause I
So yeah,
also grew up with the Christopher Nolan trilogy too. Like I watched those as they
I'd love to
released as a
hear
kid.
people's opinions at home on this because I
Yeah,
think
please comment down below if you've made it this
yeah, but
far. Let us know what you think, because this is a hard to
yeah,
answer question. I
I
think for
saw
a
this
lot
the
of
other day
people.
and I was like, this is a tough one because this is like the four goats of comic book directing.
Yeah,
I think
I
for
think.
me,
Yeah,
it's
tell me your
blue.
answer.
I think for me, it's blue because of two main reasons. And those two main reasons being one, I'm lower on Guardians 2 than a lot of people. And that breaks up that trilogy. So I think I take the Dark Knight trilogy over the Guardians trilogy. So there's that 1v1. And I think for me, I clearly take um, the four movies that the Russos did over the Spider-Man Raimi trilogy because that is something that came out like before I was born. So that isn't
Yeah,
nostalgic to me. And rewatching that as an adult or like a old teen, like late teen, young adult, when I watch those for the first time or watch them and remembered them, because I'm sure I watched them when I was younger. Um, I don't know. I was like, they're good, but they're not like I can see why people have a nostalgic feeling towards them, but they didn't blow me away. The only one that blew me away was Spider-Man 2. That is the best one in the trilogy for
and
me.
they say that a hero can save
Yeah.
us.
Um,
Dude, like I just like those movies were so important to me as a kid, but
yeah.
so were the
Right,
Nolan
but
trilogy.
right. So the way that you look at the importance of those is like, dude, I was the when Spider-Man 3 came out would have been the same age. You when Spider-Man 3 came out, you would have been the same age I was when um what's it called came out.
Infinity War?
Fucking Endgame,
Endgame, okay.
right? So it's like for me it's like those are like I grew up watching the MCU, so like I do have a nostalgic feeling towards those. And then watching the Dark Knight trilogy as like an adult is just like, okay, yeah, that's cinema.
Well, Christopher Nolan's one of the greatest directors of all time.
I wouldn't
So,
even go to say as one of he is my goat for director. I can see why there's other obviously like you have the Tarantinos and fucking what's his name? I'm blanking on his name. Oh my god. He did Killers of the Flower Moon.
Scorsese,
Scorsese, yep.
I think
Um
Spielberg deserves to be in that conversation, even though
oh
he's made
yeah.
as much slop as he's made good shit, in my opinion.
And then George Lucas, but that's the same vein.
George Lucas deserves to be in that conversation. I think M. Night Shyamalan, Jordan Peele nowadays also deserves to be in that
Yep,
conversation. And then there's like tons of more like artsy directors as well that
absolutely. We're
obviously
talking
deserve
more
it.
big
Yeah,
blockbuster kind of.
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I don't know. For me, it's Blue Pill. But yeah, do you think you formed an answer here? I don't want to spend too much time on this. I know it's a
Yeah, I
really tough
think.
question.
Yeah, we're literally just about to hit the 2 hour mark. I think it is. I think I would have to go Blue too, because I think objectively the Christopher Nolan trilogy is the best trilogy, and because Guardians 2 admittedly is not as good as the other two. I think Guardians 3 is one of the best movies in this entire list. But I think Guardians 2 is obviously a bit of a drop off, and then Spider-Man 3 is also a huge drop off. I
Yeah,
liked
that movie is
Multiverse of Madness a lot.
terrible.
I also liked Superman. I also liked the Suicide Squad, but those movies, I think those all even still, as much as I enjoyed them, just pale in comparison to the Dark Knight trilogy. I think that those movies are just so brilliant. The Dark Knight, the opening scene with Joker and his crew robbing that bank
Oh
is
yeah, and then
maybe the best opening scene of any movie ever, in my opinion.
it's top three for me because I
I can't
think
even think of a movie that starts off stronger than that.
Deadpool and Wolverine's up there for me as a theater experience as well.
Yeah, but that's more because it was like fun and silly. Like the hairs on the back of my neck stand up the whole time that opening sequence is taking place in The Dark
Yeah, no,
Knight. Like that,
it's
it
so
is
smart.
pure cinema, absolutely brilliant writing. Like just to a fucking like mind-boggling degree. Like and just the line
Yeah.
delivery from Heath Ledger, like when he takes the mask off, I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger. It's like just like and the mob banker being, the setup to that, like fucking like criminals in this town, they used to believe in something. What do you believe in? What do you believe in? Like it's just so good, dude. Like and the way that it's so intelligently written, the way that they're all picking each other off, and then
Oh yeah, and then it gets
the
whittled down
last
to
guy
one.
finally realizes what's going on. And like, I bet the Joker told you to kill me too. Like one less share, right? And he's like, no, I killed the bus driver. Bus driver? What bus driver? Boom, gets fucking smoked. Like, and then the bus driver is like, what happened to everybody else? And he's just like, just like doesn't even turn around to look, just like sprays the fucking gun behind him and kills him too. Like, and then the way that he gets away with the bus, because there's like he knows that there's like a field trip that's coming by, and he just drives out and like joins all the other school buses. Like just so brilliant, dude. I think the only thing that could have made that scene better is the smoke grenade canister that he puts in the dude's mouth, and then like ties has the string tied to the pin, so when he drives away it gets pulled. I think the only thing that could have made that scene better is when Batman and Gordon show up afterwards, if the dude was like sitting there maniacally laughing, like if they had done the laughing gas thing, because that would have just like had like a deeper like comic book tie-in, because
Yeah.
that's like a big part of Joker as a character. That's the only thing that could have made that like that's a 9.9 out of 10. Like that's the only thing that could have
Yeah.
made it a 10 out of 10 is if they went that little extra step and like in the next scene paid off this smoke grenade thing. And I think that was probably the intention at a certain point in filming that, and they just decided to not go with it. Maybe they thought it was like too
Dude, you
goofy
know
or
of
whatever.
something I didn't know from those movies is the quote of either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain comes from the Dark Knight trilogy.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that, dude. I just grew up being like, damn, dude, I bet you some fucking crazy conqueror 200 years ago said that shit.
Yeah, like Alexander
And
the
then,
Great or some shit.
yeah, that sounds like some, bro, no, he cooked that up for a Batman movie, bro.
Yeah,
That's my
dude.
goat.
This is what I'm saying, bro. Like that's why I have to take that.
And for me, one last thing I want to touch on before we
Also,
wrap
and
here is,
and also Winter Soldier is like a brilliant movie.
yeah,
And
for me, I think so. We have the Dark Knight trilogy. I think is better than the Guardians trilogy, and then I think Winter Soldier is better than anything outside of Guardians that James Gunn or Sam Raimi have done. It's better than all three Spider-Man movies, I think, and I think it's better than Superman. I think it's better than the Suicide Squad. I think it's better than
I
all
think
of that.
I think Winter Soldier might be the best MCU movie.
Yeah, we've talked about that. We say we
Like
think
it's in both of our top tens, but we didn't really
we think
like
it
number our top tens. I think honestly, gun to my head, if I had to pick a movie, I think Winter Soldier might be the best movie in the MCU.
right. And my take on that is always been it's the best. If you were to show some, like, what's the best movie in the MCU is Winter Soldier. What's the best superhero comic book movie in the MCU? Probably not Winter Soldier, in my opinion. I think that's where you give it to a Infinity War or a No Way Home. But the best, like, oh, you can go show this to anyone who likes action thrillers, and they're gonna be like, that was fucking peak,
Yeah.
right? Like that's where I agree with you.
Spy
I think it's the
thrillers.
best
Yeah.
spy thriller. That's where I think you're right. It's the best like movie by itself outside of the what was the Infinity Saga. That's where I think, yeah, you're right. That is the best movie, and I think that's better than anything else James Gunn has done.
Also, they've
So
they've done other films in the MCU that you could just show anybody, like Guardians of the Galaxy 1, or Werewolf by Night, or even Eternals, which obviously I don't think it holds up as well, but like you could just show anybody that movie without them knowing anything about Marvel, and they could just enjoy it for what it is. I think out of the ones that are just like your entry point into the franchise, it is clear as day the best one of those as well.
yeah, no, I agree. So it's
Winter
like
Soldier.
that's where I glean Blue Pill. It's like you keep the Dark Knight trilogy, and then you get Winter Soldier, which I think is then the next best movie there. Um, as much as I loved watching Superman that came out this past year, um, rewatching Winter Soldier, man, that shit is just peak. That is, yeah.
Yeah. I like
Um,
everything on the whole list except Spider-Man 3 is kind of doggy.
the memes are peak, but yeah.
The memes are peak. The memes have still held up. I'll still get like fucking
Oh
like
yeah, they're
evil
so
Spidey
peak.
dancing fucking
Oh
memes
yeah,
on Instagram and shit.
so good,
It's
but terrible
but
movie.
it's not a good movie. And
Yeah,
that's
no,
not on Sam Raimi. That was because the studio was like he already wrote a script where there's going to be two villains, and then the studio was like, if you don't put Venom in this, we're pulling the plug. And he had to just
right.
insert him into a finished script, so that's why all of that shit just didn't feel right in that movie. And uh and it didn't age well either with the whole like all the shit we're talking about that's now still a meme. It's like it's still a meme because it's aged poorly and it's
Yeah.
just so over the top goofy in like a bad way. Yeah, I think I'm gonna
So
have to go blue.
over here at Nerdcast, we're going blue. So let us know what you guys are going. But it is a very tough question. So I saw that. I'll try to keep those up every week.
Yeah, we'll come
Finish
up
out
with
the
something every week. That's a good idea. Cap
yeah,
it
do like a
off.
finishing question where we do something like that. It's fun. Another
Yeah.
thing I wanted to do on an episode where we have less to do is a King of the Hill. I'll make the bracket for it, but I think that'd be fun as well, where we go through like a list of comic book heroes that like 1v1, and then who stays on the King of the Hill, and then we have the King of the Hill at the end.
Oh, that'd be a cool thing to dedicate like most of an episode to. So if we have a week where
So you want to just do it as a bonus then at some point?
I think we can just there's no uh need to like speed that up for release. I think we can wait until we have an episode where we don't have a lot to talk about and just like make that the main focus of the episode.
Cool. Okay. Well, there you go. It ended up being an over 2 hour episode, but we gotta talked about a
This
lot.
always
Talked about
happens.
potential.
We're like,
Yeah.
this is probably going to be a short one. Like, Declan and I will be talking beforehand. Like, this will probably be a short one. We don't really have that much to talk about. And then it's like, we're like over 2 hours in. We're like, oh
Yeah.
shit, never mind. We can just
Yeah.
yap.
So we talked about
It's almost like
we
we're
talked about
brothers or something. Of like, it's almost like I've known you your whole life.
so
And
yeah,
we're
we
into all
covered
the same shit.
covered our weekly uh fucking Alien Earth and Peacemaker, and then we talked about Ghost of Yote going gold, and then we talked about the new Invincible fighting game. And then yeah, sorry, I will be going live when that Ghost of Yote comes out. I'll be doing it live. Ryan will be watching the game with me, chilling. We'll just
Yeah,
be
we'll do
chilling,
like a
kicking it.
dual commentary.
Yeah, we'll just be kicking it. I'll shoot it live. That'll come out as a video on the channel
It'll
after the
just be a
live
lot of me
ends.
being like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
Like it'll just
dude,
be all my
yeah,
reactions
it's gonna be
to you playing the
dude,
game.
those games are so gory and so much fun. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun. And then yeah, we talked about Yelena potentially being in Spider-Man, and then the potential trilogy now happening with the Avengers. And then yeah, there's our question of the episode. So yeah, that was fun. We're gonna be wrapping here, but we'll be doing another episode every week, obviously, and I guess we'll be doing that King of the Hill thing at some point. But
Yeah, and also for anybody that's enjoying the Magic the Gathering series, I'm gonna try and get 4 people to join up next time we play. If you've made it this far, and you also are a fan of the Magic episodes that we're doing, put in the comments. Tell Declan he has to buy Tabletop Simulator and play with us. And because for some reason I can't convince him, so go yell at Declan in the comments and be like, "Yo, get fucking tabletop. What are you doing? Play with your brother. Play with his friends. Like you play Magic. We don't even have to teach you Magic. Just play." So yeah, go yell at him in the comments. But yeah, we're gonna. I should have 4 people lined up next time, or 3 people
Nice.
in addition to myself. So we'll get a proper 4-player game going. And when I do that episode, I'll also start off the episode by saying, like, if there's anything you guys want to see us do, like certain decks that you want us to use, or a certain format you want us to play, or whatever, like put that in the comments of that next episode, and then we can do like special episodes of that series as well, because it's just us having fun playing Magic. Me and my friends do that anyway, so I just
Nice.
figured
Yeah.
it'd be cool content, and I think that's why people like it. It's just us hanging out, friends
Put it
playing
on in the
Magic.
background or whatever and
Yeah,
show while you're playing a game or something or
yeah,
whatever the case is. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
So, all right.
Awesome.
Thanks
Love
for
y'all, and
watching.
we'll catch y'all next week. I might convince you to do the King of the Hill thing as a bonus. I think that'd be fun, but
All
we'll
right.
see.
We'll talk. We'll talk. All right.
Okay.
See you
Peace.
later, everybody.